Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Y'all, you don't know how many times when I do these videos, I get about 60 clips. By the time I'm ready to start creating the video, it drops down to 50. These videos disappear quick. So we have to get these videos out fast before TikTok, YouTube, Instagram takes them down. So in today's video, y'all, we're going to be diving into some comments from these videos. We're going to be going in a little deeper dives on some of these clips. We're doing things a little different today, y'all. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think of the new program we're doing here. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
EXO Tour Life.
Yeah.
By Lil Uzi Vert. Everyone picked up on, but like when you go and watch the music video, he's literally doing a satanic ritual that is invoking Lilith, the girl that looks like she's not alive in the bathtub and all that stuff. Is literally a like clipothic ritual of invoking the spirit of Lilith, and that's what the whole imagery of the music video is about, which Lilith is a part of this clipothic system in Western esoteric traditions. So basically, Epstein is the Moloch of this situation.
Well, that's a good point. Take a bite of our new product. Why the fuck would
Zeke,
they call it a
what
product?
product?
Nigga, a product
Hold
of
on.
what?
What the fuck? Cause anybody gonna say, come try a new burger.
Try a new burger, nigga. The new, you know what I'm
The
saying?
triple meat
burger, double meat, baconator burger. Like, this motherfucker say, take a bite of our new product. What the fuck do you mean?
Cause it was made in the lab, Zeke. Think about it.
They printing this shit out, y'all.
McDonald's has officially taken down their video of the CEO of
That didn't take
McDonald's
long.
trying their newest burger. Yeah, I am not kidding. You could go ahead and go into the McDonald's official TikTok account and you will no longer find that video anywhere. And to be honest, I am not surprised about this at all because that video was just not a good look for McDonald's, not one bit. Luckily though, the original video was downloaded by like hundreds of people and they are currently reposting it all across TikTok for everyone to see. So if you somehow have not seen that video yet, it is definitely worth a watch. Just seeing the CEO of McDonald's being disgusted, trying out the newest burger is very eye-opening and just kind of goes to show that we most definitely should not be eating McDonald's. Definitely a very interesting situation, that is for sure. And I'm just really curious to see, like, will that viral video of the CEO of McDonald's trying out their newest burger affect, McDonald's in any way, shape, or form? Like, will their business start to go down? Because so many people are no longer going to eat McDonald's after seeing the CEO's McDonald's reaction to eating the newest burger. Like, if he is disgusted, why are we eating it? Like, we most definitely shouldn't be. But yeah, really curious to know your thoughts about all of this.
Like, what's the marketing plan behind that? What's the marketing plan behind putting the CEO on TV? Like, are they so out of touch with us? Like, the people don't want to see the CEO, especially if he's not going to finish the burger and take a real bite. And they put that out. Like, what do you expect? That's how out of touch these powers that be are. And we're gonna get into that later, y'all, with this Baron Trump thing. I got some backlash with that.
You think that Epstein is alive?
Yeah,
You do?
I do.
I know a lot of people think he's in Israel right now.
I saw those pictures. I don't really know.
think that's him.
He
Yeah.
did have a plastic surgeon, which is in the records, coming frequently to his estate after 2016. So was he changing his face? I don't know.
Well, he would have had to change his face after release or after the death, which again, like, it sounds crazy to some people, but
It
it's
sounds
not
crazy.
It's not impossible. It certainly is not impossible when you have that many powerful people trying to cover something up to scoot someone away. Although you would hope that you just kill him and be done. And if that were the case, like, why isn't Ghislaine dead?
Because she's our fall girl. You literally pull up on justice.gov/Epstein. You've got the EFTA number and it has .pdf. Take out PDF and put in MP4. It turns into a video.
Mm-hmm.
One in particular will be the video of the night he died.
Really?
It is cut. There is about 23 seconds missing.
Now, coming up in the video, we're going to get into something very dark, very demonic that went on in that house. I went super deep to find this clip of a camera roll behind the scenes in the Epstein house. Somebody walking around with the camera phone, y'all. We went deep in the archives for that one. That's all coming up soon, y'all. Stay tuned.
What bigger psyop have we seen over the last 150 years
than the idea that we have to support this other country in the Middle East wars. And why do we have to do that? Well, because they're God's chosen people. Don't you know, JT? Have you ever heard of Israel in the Bible? You know, branding is almost everything. Just imagine that this country was just called Palestine. It was all the same people in it. You know how much harder it would be to sell to, I don't know, your grandma in the church to support this war? But people are tying this together with the return of Christ every time a bomb drops in the Middle East. What better cover story is there to say, don't look at here, don't look at what happened with that school in Iran where all those girls died. Don't look at that. Think this could lead to the return of Jesus. Is that not a psyop? You have a lot of very well-meaning evangelical Christians who just think we're supposed to just sign them a blank check and let them do whatever they want. And as we read last week, we read in Corinthians when it says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So like, why, if we're a Christian country, why are we yoking ourselves with the spirit of Antichrist? And that is not antiseptic. That's not anti-citrus to say that. That's a fact. Like, that is a fact.
Proof that Hollywood is evil.
Just say something about that belly room also, and it brings up something, the scariest thing I've ever seen up there. One night at 2 a.m, I was hanging out there, okay? And they go, you know, you can hang out here, but upstairs they're doing something, but you cannot go up there in the belly room. Like, it's closed. Who gives a He's like, there's something going up there. Do not go up there. But I went up there. You know, the back entrance? Up the back. I opened up that back thing, right? It's pitch black in there. But I see candles, right? I swear to God, I saw this. 15 people wearing hoods and purple cloaks. Okay? And they're chanting, right? And then, so I go back downstairs and I wait to see. They come down after the seance. You know who I saw? One of them was Lily Tomlin. Okay? The second one was Bob Zamuda. You know Bob Zamuda?
Yeah, I did some deeper research on that, and I always heard on podcasts they did that because that's where they used to do, you know, things when people don't want to have their kids, right? That's why they call it the belly room, right? Now, I took it to Gemini AI to ask some questions. You know, why is the Comedy Store room called the belly room? And it said the belly room of the Comedy Store in West Hollywood has a unique history tied to its founder, Mitchie Sore, the womb of comedy. Mitchie Sore opened the belly room, the room of comedy, the belly dancing connection. Mitchie Sore in the space. The room was reportedly used for belly dancing, urban legends, proximity to the Sunset Strip, and its history of former mob hangout. Several darker urban legends exist. The room today is testing grounds for small comedians. And I said, was it because they did, you know what, right? Quit beating around the bush. Let's get down to it, right? You got to be real with ChatGPT or these AIs because they'll give you the politically correct answer. This is actually one of the most persistent urban legends about the Comedy Store. Comedian Joey Diaz is largely responsible for popularizing this theory of various podcasts. Before the building became the Comedy Store, the upstairs room was used by the mob, specifically Mickey Cohen's associates, as a place where showgirls or mob girlfriends could get illegal. While it's a pretty gritty story that fits the dark history of the Sunset Strip, here's how it breaks down. The legend, the claim is that Mitchie Sore named the belly room as a dark, tongue-in-cheek reference to that alleged history. The reality, there is no official record, figures, or hard evidence confirming that the room was an abortion clinic. Historically, the building was a massive mob hangout. The official stance, Mitch always maintained that she named it the belly room to create a womb-like, feminine environment for female comics to develop their craft away from the aggressive atmosphere of the main room. I don't know, y'all. What do you think? Right? What do you think? I think that's the real reason why they call it the belly room. That's why he said they were up there doing those seances and whatnot. And if that's the case, how dark is that? We're gonna name this room the belly room.
People are trying to draft Barron Trump into World War III. A new hashtag is trending, calling for Trump to send his son to the front lines. And it's actually growing just beyond tweets. An entire website has been created. DraftBarronTrump.com was actually made by former South Park writer Toby Morton. And the header reads, America is strong because its leaders are strong. President Trump proves that every day. Naturally, his son Barron is more than ready to defend the country his father so boldly commands. But Fortunately for Baron, he's most likely ineligible to get drafted because the US Army actually has a maximum height requirement of 6'8". Anyone taller wouldn't be able to fit in military equipment like airplanes and tanks. And with Baron being 6'9", it looks like the Send Baron movement is doomed to fail.
Okay, we got to dive a little deeper. I want to see what the people are saying, y'all. I want to see what the people are saying about not only Barron Trump, because when I said that, I was saying, you know, all these powers that be, their kids got to do something, right? Let's see what the people say. Now we got his father started the war, let his son end the war. I don't care how tall he is, Barron is going. We got to send Barron, and I'm guessing those are the people that are saying that. You know what I mean? The famous nose ring. The same people against the draft, trying to draft people. I don't see a problem. 1 inch saved his life. Yeah, that's true. My son won't go there. Normalize sending presidents to fight the wars they start. What about Netanyahu's son? Now I'm seeing a common theme. What about this? What about that? Now my thing is, they don't have to go. I'm not saying go to war and hold a gun or fly a jet or anything, but go serve some food to these soldiers. Or better yet, go walk down the street without bodyguards. Go walk down the street go drive to McDonald's without a bomb-proof vehicle. Let's start there, right? You can't do that, right? You can't do that. That just looks like a reptilian. Look at him. Next to that giant. Doesn't he look like a reptile? Doesn't he? Look at his head shape. The way he smiles, his teeth.
I went to heaven. I've had a near-death experience. There was a light being taking care of me.
A light being? What did it look like?
As a human, but both genders at the same time. I would say more evolved spiritual being. That's all I know. But it was speaking telepathically to me.
Saying what?
You signed for it. You don't remember it. You signed for it before your incarnation. And I said, what? And now I'm dying. It's like a nightmare. It said, no. You're not going to die. You're going to access the full life mission program now, and we'll help you to get way better, my friend. A few years from now, you'll be better than ever. And I came back, and as they said, after a few months, I was able to leave the bed, to walk, to start eating a bit. And I'm 63 years old now. Biologically, I did some testing. I'm like at the end of the 40s. And they gave me the entire research program of my future career as a neuroscientist, believe it or not.
It gave me this book that's called The Revolution Will Not Be Funded. And it's written by the Women's Jewish Council. So the Jews wrote this book. And it breaks down the 501c3, which is the non-profit industrial complex. In the prison and industrial complex, how is the non-profit industrial complex? So nigga, non-profit does nobody any good except the people that's running it. It's a scam it's a scam act like it's solving a problem. So this book highlights the fact that 95% of nonprofits spend almost 95 to 99% of their fundings, donations and grants on keeping the lights on, furniture, the cars, the trips. They go hire their mama to be the CEO. They go hire their other girlfriend to put people in the family in these positions and pay them a salary and find a way to re-itemize the money.
Yeah.
And only 5% actually goes to the work that they do.
While the world is on the edge of their seats and everyone is paying attention to what is going on in the Middle East with the United States and Iran, guess what Russia is doing to Ukraine? They are using illegal phosphorus bombs and dropping them all over
Everyone
Ukraine
forgot
cities,
about that war.
burning them up. These are against the rules when it comes to war, as if there are any rules when it comes to war. I never really understood that. Let me tell you why these weapons are banned and should never be used in war. They're actually banned under a prohibited weapons international law where all countries have agreed not to use these in war. But guess what? Vladimir Putin doesn't see it's a problem to use it. Let me tell you why. When these missiles are dropped and the chemical component, white phosphorus, comes out of these bombs, it burns fiercely. You cannot put it out with water. The only way to put it out is to take the oxygen out of the air, and you cannot do that. So it keeps burning and burning and burning. It is horrible for the environment. The water, you can say goodbye to that for the next couple of months, and people who go outside and they breathe this in will immediately suffocate. This is why they are banned. But Vladimir Putin doesn't see a problem with it. While we're all distracted with the Middle East and Iran and Israel and the United States, he's just going to town on Ukraine.
Hey, did y'all know that lizards supposedly don't like bells? According to a theory, certain non-human, let's say management types, don't enjoy certain sound frequencies. You know, something about rattling their true disguise. The whole concept is that certain tones act like, let's say, x-ray glasses. You hit just the right frequency and suddenly the human suit starts to glitch. And I mean really glitch, not like those videos where people just pause it just right. You know, kind of like in They Live when the signal tower goes down and everyone finally sees what's really walking around in that business suit. Supposedly old church bells were replaced because certain reptilian imposters didn't like the frequency those bells could hit. Now when you hear church bells coming out of church, well, those bells are actually recording because the frequency is different from the old school metal kind. So maybe those bells actually had two purposes. They were calling people into the house of prayer, but also they were an imposter detector, let's say. I mean, it would be pretty freaky. Imagine walking down the street and a bell rings and suddenly half the people walking around start blinking sideways. You know, Peter the Reptile Till keeps talking about the Antichrist. Maybe we just need to see him in front of an old school church. I always say John Carpenter's been warning us this whole time.
But I was bored, so I looked up how deep the Mariana Trench is, and the Mariana Trench is 7 miles deep. And to put that into terrifying perspective, the Grand Canyon is only about 1 mile deep.
That's crazy. Now, you guys know I am starting to become obsessed with oceans within the ocean. And I'm starting to believe right now we're in an ocean. We're breathing water. It's just a different frequency. So coming up later, we got some great footage of oceans within oceans, y'all.
Deeply unsettled by that fact.
I saw an interview with Crazy Bone. He was saying that that was all the production and the labels calls, right? Like they made those calls for Bone Thugs. Like they were just thought, wow. Bone Thugs was like, oh, this is the new way to promote music. We're down, put it out. But little did they know that the industry was using them on some satanic shit. You know what I'm saying? And crazy. And I think they were saying that what was it? Mr. Ouija was one of the Ouija. Are you with me? That was one of Eazy-E's favorite songs. So he was like definitely trying to push them.
Eazy-E was very dark.
He passed away. Like, I need you guys to do this. He was kind of revolutionizing it, right? Like he kind of saw that the industry was going in an evil direction. So he was like, "Fuck it, let me have these guys come out of Cleveland and just rip it up on some what you might think is some evil shit, but then we're gonna hit you with a song like Crossroads later on down the line or whatever." You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just pretty cool to and. Like I said, my mom used to hate me watching the Crossroads video. She's like, "Get that black angel off." I was like, "He's not a black angel. Like, he's black, but he's not like a demon angel." You know what I mean? Like,
that's Eazy-E.
Yeah, they're paying homage to Eazy-E and they're taking him up to heaven. Mom, like, look, check it out. But yeah, so I do remember like all of the Bone Thug stuff coming out.
I think what we've learned most from this whole McDonald's fast food CEO eating the burger thing, and then other fast food CEOs also eating burgers, is that every CEO looks exactly the same, just like in a different font.
He's about to get off, then a man is seen stepping into an elevator, getting ready for work. Everything seems normal. He presses his floor, casually checks himself out, and is seen thinking about what the day might bring. But the moment the doors open, the elevator suddenly surges past the floor as if it was a glitch. The elevator shoots up before stopping mid-shaft. The man realized he was inches away from losing his life.
Wow.
Sometimes most normal moments can turn dangerous in a matter of seconds. Would you trust that elevator again?
I don't really trust no elevator now.
Why has the U.S. Congress never passed a minimum age for child marriage?
Never passed it.
Why is there no law alone in this country that says marriage can only be between a man and a consenting female who is at least 18 years old?
Right.
Do you know we don't have a minimum marriage
know
law in this country?
No, sir.
Do you know that in 33 states you can marry children? California has no minimum age. All you need is parental consent and judicial consent. I'm going to say it again. In the state of California, you can marry a child of any age. There is no minimum.
That's heavy.
But y'all say y'all don't like pedophiles.
Right. Yeah.
Elvis Presley got a new movie coming out. Wasn't Priscilla living in his house and she was what, 13?
13.
14?
Yes.
So I need white people to explain to me. You upset over Epstein. But Elvis got a new movie coming out. You about to celebrate Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, two known plantation pedophiles, on July 4th. Your country don't have a minimum marriage age for the girls. 33 states allow child marriage. If you're against this loan, why don't I see proof of it?
Oh my goodness. That's heavy, man.
Do you still belong
That's
to the Roman
heavy.
Catholic Church? Hundreds of thousands of documented. You still Catholic, but you got a problem with Epstein?
Good question.
You had a problem with Sean Combs? But you gonna turn a blind eye to this?
You know, that's what I always wonder. That's what I always wondered. There was just a priest. I don't really know the backstory where I'm at, right? And he came on TV and he apologized. They lost budgeting due to these allegations. Now, it just came out this morning. I was drinking my coffee, watching it. I'm gonna do some more research on it. But that happened right here, and it was back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. 15 allegations that came out. You know, I guess now they came out. I don't know. But there's an episode of George Lopez that's based in California where his daughter wants to get married and she's underage, and they're fighting her, and then eventually they just say, you know what, screw it. And I don't remember if they actually do it or if she comes to senses and she's like, you know what, whatever. But there's an episode of George Lopez where she's underage. And that's a known thing. If you're underage, your parents can, sign you off to the military, or they can sign you, to get married pretty much underage.
He hacked in 2023 during Biden hacked in. It was Comey running the file, his daughter in New York. It was 100 terabytes they deleted.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, 14.6, one person their whole life couldn't go over it all. 100, that's how industrial level he was with the CIA, Mossad, MI6, running, money laundering, weapons, just.
100 terabytes. Epstein.
Yeah.
That's more than emails, man. That's more than just some pictures of your vacation. What's it? 100 terabytes is insane. What the fuck is that?
This is clearly demonic. When you see in the email, clear evidence that they're talking about children, whether or not demons exist, if they did exist, that is how they would behave. They would prey on children. And there was the one where there was a suggestion where a child was praying to Jesus, and then in response, Jeffrey Epstein says, you should dress up as him when you see her. There's
That's
one
crazy.
of them where Epstein says, I enjoyed the torture video.
Are we all seeing what's being revealed? Are we all paying attention to the things that are coming out from these files? Because I'm worried that I'm going to have to try and explain to somebody what I'm hearing and seeing, and I'm going to sound like I'm experiencing psychosis because I feel like I'm experiencing psychosis. I can't even sleep. I'm so fucking angry. I'm petrified. This is some of the most vile, most demonic shit I have ever even fathomed. It is unfathomable, and I feel like people are not paying attention. I feel like we are underreacting. I feel like I'm very worried that when we are exposed to such distressing information, we are being overloaded with the most appalling news ever, that we numb ourselves and we block it out because it's too much, which is a totally valid human experience and thing to do. But we cannot do that. We cannot do that because are these fucking fucked up freaks sitting there laughing, being well, everything's out and nothing's gonna happen, and look, we got away with it, and we got away with the most horrifying stuff that it's not even humanly possible to believe that this is happening. Like I literally cannot wrap my mind around the fact that these things happened. It is unconscionable. And like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Genuinely, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
You know the difference between a divorce and a circumcision? With a divorce, you get rid of the whole schmuck.
And when you look at Ghislaine Maxwell, now the real name of the Maxwells is not called Maxwell, it's called the Hawk family, Hoch, out of Transylvania, out of Eastern Europe, out of Romania. The bloodline of Ghislaine Maxwell through the Hawk family are not only related to Vlad the Impaler, they would call Count Dracula, interesting, but she's also related to King Charles, who's really on his deathbed. And she's also, Ghislaine Maxwell, related to the Oswald family out of central Germany.
Wow.
Yes, Lee Harvey Oswald. So the Hawk family, the Maxwells, the House of Windsor, and the Oswald family are all interconnected together. This is what I call the global departmentalization of darkness.
It's coming. It's coming.
Over the last 25 years, we've spent close to $10 trillion on wars, you know, and they didn't tax the American people for that, because they know they couldn't tax us enough to pay. We would put an end to it. If they tried to raise everybody's taxes enough to come up with $10 trillion because we want to go fight regime change wars all over the Middle East, the American people would have been like, no, we're not doing that. But they didn't do that. They kept taxes where they were. I think they even cut some rates during those years, top rates. And then they borrowed the rest, and they still couldn't borrow enough, so they just print the money. And then essentially what happens is that the price of everything just goes up and up and up. And you just put more money into the system, and then people start looking around and going like, geez, why is the price of housing and healthcare and energy and childcare totally unaffordable? And the answer is because you're paying for the war in Iraq. And nobody thinks about it like that. But that's really what's going on.
Okay, I'm very interested in what the comments got to say about this, because I've noticed in my town, the gas prices are already going up. I was at about $2.50 a gallon. Now we're at like $3.15, $3.16 a gallon. So it's already getting out of hand. Let's see what the people are saying about this. We can't have free healthcare because we are paying for another country's free healthcare and free colleges. 10 trillion is what it would cost for every human in the US to have top tier level 1,100% free healthcare. Why are we still funding wars that hurt our own economy? That's a fair question. Why are we doing this? For one, we don't want it. For two, I mean, Iran hasn't done nothing to us that I've seen. I'm just thinking on a 9/11 page, right? Nothing like that has happened. The Epstein wars is how all this will be remembered. Yeah, that's what it's looking like, right? This is where universal health care went. America and Canada were worse off than the US. I guess it's our war with Russia, funded through Ukraine. And he voted for this. And he did come in and say, I am the peace president. There will be no wars. And this is a pretty big war, y'all. Just think of all that infrastructure, healthcare, and education that 10 trillion could have paid for. Yeah, I mean, but American children don't deserve school lunches. You know, if we wouldn't have went to this war, that 10 trillion, it still wouldn't have gone to the people. It still wouldn't have gone to the people. Inflation is another word for tax. They should give us a receipt of where our taxes went. I really agree, y'all. If we're gonna have to pay these crazy amount of taxes, at least let us pick where they're going, right? I would like to pick a mental health fund, right? Because that's something I deal with to help people that deal with what I deal with. Instead of going to a war, instead of going to Ukraine, right? I'd rather do something like that. Our kids, grandkids will be paying for this war. That's true. Making the rich richer. The rich are getting richer. right? Gas is going up. I'm sure housing, groceries, all these other things are going to start going up. McDonald's is going to go back up. All these things are going to start going back up. Tariffs are going to go back up. Everything's going to go back up. And guess who's going to suffer those consequences?
Do you guys see Liver King go to Whataburger with his family and order like a huge meal?
I didn't. I didn't say it with that much authority. But if you watch it, is it not crazy? What happened? He orders everything, but I think it was like when he was going through like a psychosis. So
Yeah, he's having a breakdown.
it was fucking nuts, and he just kept like fucking saying the weirdest shit to people.
Driving it.
Also,
Yeah,
they
they're
put a Super Mario Kart all together in a pole barn, and they each have a 65-inch TV this close to their face. I would do anything. If that was my dad, Liver King does, yes.
Yeah, it's
Family bonding time. They all have 65-inch TVs literally like a foot away from their face by Mario Kart.
So we're going to do some Minnesota math with you today.
Okay.
Are you
Minnesota
ready?
math.
How much money was
DC.
spent on 2017 for autism in Minnesota? How much?
I don't know. I wasn't the governor.
Okay. Did you not just say that you prepared for this hearing today? $1 million, okay? A quick Google
You don't
search
see
or using your
2024?
AI could tell you $1 million was spent. How much money was spent on autism in Minnesota in 2024?
I don't have the number in
Hundreds of
front of me.
million. I
As
bet.
Were you governor
I
in
don't-
2024?
I was, but I'm not the
Okay,
head
so
of
your
HHS.
excuse before that you didn't know what 2017 autism numbers were because you
Got
weren't
him.
governor, and today you can't answer the numbers about 2024 as governor, and you still said you prepared for this hearing today. It's unbelievable. $343 million was spent in 2024. What percent
said
increase
100.
is that? From 1 million to 343 million. What percentage increase is that?
I'm not here to be your prop. Go ahead and tell me.
See, where'd the money go? Where'd the money go? I put a post up today on my community, and I got called Kamala. I got called AOC. I call them both out, y'all. I don't just call one side out. I call them both out, right? Where'd that money go? That's our money. Where'd it go? But with all this, is that money going to get returned to the taxpayers? All this nonsense they're doing, right? This court hearing and having him sit up there and making him sweat and look like a fool. Are we going to get our money back for that? If they find it, let's say they find it in a secret vault. They find this $343 million that's sitting in a secret vault under a Somalian daycare. Are they going to give us that money back? Hell no, they're not. That lady sitting right there, is she going to give us that money back? Hell no, she ain't. Right? No.
Wait, are you governor of Minnesota or not?
Yeah. There's this truck coming here. Well, hold on now. Hold on. I'm gonna show you a video. It's a truck that drives by itself.
Damn, it's got three trailers on it. I've seen two, not three. Or was it two?
Yeah, but this truck coming in where I'm leaving, he's coming in right now.
That one's one.
Good morning. It's 4 a.m. here in Houston, and some sketchy ass shit just happened to me. And I wanted to go on kind of as a PSA maybe to anybody that's catching Uber or Lyft at a nice hotel. I'm at a Hilton just down the street from Do Si Do. Had an amazing show. We'll talk about more of that later. Come walking outside with my bag. Van still sitting right where I left it. As I come walking out here, right over there is a car. And I'm waiting for a lift. And as I come out with my bag, the guy goes, "Oh, hey," Russian accent, big tatted up guy. And he looked at me and he goes, "Okay." And he starts to open his trunk. And man, the little voice in my head just went, "Wait."
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "Who you picking up?" 2 minutes later, he still couldn't come up with my name. And I said, "It's okay, man. I'm not your guy." And he drove off. And then Lyft sent me a notification my driver was on his way.
What's one thing drivers do every day that slowly damages their car? Braking too hard heats up the rotors. Turning really hard and quick, it can eat the tires up pretty good. Driving with 2 feet is bad. People give it gas and they hit the brake at the same time. My daughter used to do it a lot.
One go up there. We're not showing you that because we're not going to show. The Israeli government does not allow us or want us to show where that may have come up, that interceptor. But I've
Now, they just said this live on CNN. We're not going to show this because the Israeli government doesn't want us to show this, doesn't want the American news that broadcasts to its nation. Another government doesn't want us to broadcast this. We got to see what these comments say. They just admitted who controls what they're allowed to show and what not to show. This isn't because Israel controls its America. It's because they are in Israel and the government doesn't want to show the location of missile interceptions in the middle of being bombed. I wonder if she said that intentionally. So America is under Israel's state-controlled media. Why doesn't Israel government have a hand in what can be shown in America? We are so cooked. She knew what she said was wrong, and yet she still did it. People really are trying to warn us and are waking up. Aaron knew exactly what she was doing. So Israel controls U.S. media. Got it. Basically, we're not allowed to show you because Israel told us not to. Her handler is pissed right now. She said that for our benefit. I don't know what to say with that one, y'all. That dude did have a good thing. They are in Israel. Different rules out there, right? Can't say certain things. We don't want to be, right? You're not in America, or are they? For some reason, every time these people are on live TV, a bomb magically is going to blow up right behind them. It happened here. I'll put it on tomorrow's video. How it happens in every war, everything, every protest, everything, y'all. When the news is out there, we gotta pause, y'all. We gotta take our headphones off. We gotta put on our helmets. We gotta put on our jackets, right? There's bombs going off. We gotta get down. Shh. Every time, never fails.
Look at this shit, y'all. They putting it right in our face. Our ingredient is you. So fuck.
Our secret ingredient is you. This is probably what's in Epstein's freaking fish tanks up in the house, y'all. I wouldn't be surprised. These type of freaking fish. He looks like the type, right? Looks like the type to have one of those. Okay, here we go. Look at this, y'all. Tell me we're not breathing water right now. Look at that. Tell me right now we're not fish. Tell me we're not fish. Tell me the fish see that water as water and see the water they're in that we see as a water as just air. Am I crazy? That's going to be the next poll.
One of the most amazing things that I have ever seen in the bottom of the ocean. It was while filming for Blue Planet. It was in the Gulf of Mexico. I noticed there's something out in the distance. Couldn't tell exactly what, but it looked like a dark band. And as we approached it, the dark band became a donut. I saw this donut. It was black in the center. What the heck is that? And so as we get closer and closer to it, I noticed that the black band had what appeared to be kind of steam over it. And then I looked, and there was water lapping against the shoreline. This band was a ring of mussels. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off. And as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
1972, he started speaking about heavy water with special properties that
mouth,
comes from the bottom of the sea.
I better shut up.
But this must have meant that at 19,000 feet, because it had a higher density, it would have been sitting there. So you can have water within water. So it was just sitting there. So when they put the capsule down and were trying to recover whatever they recovered this stuff that was sitting at this well. And it was. He reports in his notes that they recovered the water from this depression. And so what happened was rumors started spreading about the vessel. This was some type of curative of water. So one of the sailors who had a gash in his hand that was infected comes in and says, I want you to put it on that. And he does. He dabs it in a rag and he dabs it on the sailor.
You are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith. And you're absolutely right that that has not come my Christian faith.
No balcony. Guys, fun fact about Vegas, there's only one hotel that has balconies out here, and I'm pretty sure it's the Cosmo, because people get so depressed after losing money from gambling, and then they jump off, which is sad. Yeah, so it's kind of smart for them to not have that going on.
Yeah, folks. So it turns out that AI, artificial intelligence, cannot read cursive. It is just too genuine and too authentic and too different per person that it cannot detect. It can't read it. So why do you think they took cursive out of the curriculum in elementary school? You know, I remember being in elementary school in the very early 2000s. 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5. And in third grade, I was learning to write cursive, but then when my younger sister, who's 10 years younger than I am, when she was in elementary school, it was off the curriculum. And, you know, I've got a son now, he's 6, so it's not quite time, but there's no plans to teach him cursive. So it's up to me and you and those of us.
Archaeologists discovered a series of ancient finds in the U.S. that predate the Egyptian pyramids, and it is science.
I feel like Joe Rogan's had enough. He's sitting down with Steve-O, and Steve-O makes an argument from 10 years ago about transgender people in the bathroom, and Joe Rogan just goes off. I feel kind of bad for Steve-O, who is wholly unprepared for these conversations, and that's just like the nature of reality, I guess. Listen to this, and then we'll talk about the current state of politics. And
now, before we get into it, he has always given Steve-O a hard time. I'm a Steve-O fan. You know, I don't really watch his new I'm a Jackass fan, I should say. I'm more of a fan of a Jackass than I am a Steve-O. And when he would go on Joe Rogan back in the day, Joe Rogan would always give him a hard time. When Steve-O would say a joke, Joe Rogan would kind of be how he is with everyone when they say a joke, like be serious and not really get the joke. So I don't know what this is all about, but I'm just saying Joe Rogan has always given Steve-O a hard time when he's gone on his podcast, even 10, 15 years ago, before all this woke stuff.
And all what this means. But I stress again, Steve-O seems to not know what is actually going on. And I'd love for our team to reach out. We'd love to have Steve-O, been a fan of his for a while. He got clean and sober. It's awesome stuff. But the problem that we have in this country, largely with what we describe as liberals, is they literally don't understand what's going on. That being said, I actually have a little bit of pushback for Joe Rogan on this issue because the nuances, as they always are, need to be presented. But let's just start here, and you can hear this whole back and forth.
But in this situation, talk to this transgender person, like, hey, can I run something by you? And I spoke with them. They describes to me a level of oppression that genuinely fucking broke my heart. They said, hey, let me tell you, like, I am not allowed to use the bathroom at my own place of work. We've got like
That's not true. They're just not allowed to use the bathroom. It doesn't align with their biological sex.
Okay.
But you got to realize they're not all.
Okay, I just got to pause. Steve-O, wholly unprepared. Okay. Like, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. No disrespect, Steve-O. You went in, you were trying to tell this story, and then Joe was like, yeah, actually, no. And you went, oh. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm not trying to rag on Steve-O, but.
Listen, I genuinely think there's people that feel like they are in the wrong biological sex.
Sure.
Right? But there's also people that are fucking perverts, and they have a thing called autogynephilia. And what that is they get a turn on by pretending to be a woman. They get excited by it, and they want to be around women.
And they want other people to validate that. That's that when they say things like gender euphoria. That's what this is the problem we have.
And they're creeps. And so you give them a fucking Willy Wonka golden ticket to go into the women's locker room and the women's bathroom and stare at women and pretend you're a woman when you're just a crazy man and you're actually into women.
Okay.
That's real too,
okay.
man.
I don't doubt that that's real, and I know that it's a super complex, nuanced thing.
But here's what's not complex. What is your chromosomes?
Right.
Okay? This is the same thing for competing. Right. All these fucking mental gymnastics that seemingly intelligent people do to justify biological males competing with females.
Oh, I'm with the, I don't think anybody's
It's the same
that.
thing.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
And especially as speaking as a man who has daughters, like there are creeps. And if you give a creep, and I'm not saying all trans people are creeps,
right.
But I'll
channel designated a command channel and open. Right now, weapon is open.
We found out that all the jet fuel went down the elevator shafts and blew out the whole lobby. So anybody standing in the path of that blast was maybe 20, 30 people I just seen, basically burnt it on the floor. It was pretty horrific.
Bigfoot was just seen at Belton Lake, Texas, and the community is buzzing about it. The Bigfoot Mapping Project has a report of the sighting from March 2nd, 2026, just days ago, and it's enough to make you think twice about going into the woods at dusk. It was 7:08 p.m. and the sun was starting to dip low. A father and his 8-year-old son were cutting through the trails on their ATV near the water and starting to head home. All of a sudden, the woods got quiet, and that's when they saw it. It was a massive figure. The witness described it as being 7.5 feet tall. They described it as being a solid black shape with hints of brown hair and walking forward with purpose. Most people would just freeze, but this witness says they were able to snap a photo before the figure disappeared into the trees. The father said he was terrified and that his 8-year-old son was traumatized by the event. They didn't just see it, they felt its presence. It's important to know this just happened days ago in the Morgan's Point area down in Texas. There's something living in the dense corridors around Belton Lake. If you're near Nolanville or Jubilee Springs, keep your eyes peeled. And if you've seen something, let me know in the comments, and like and follow for more Bigfoot content.
I made the prediction that the United States will lose this war. The United States and Iran are not peers. They're not equals. The United States is far stronger than Iran. And we should expect the United States to overwhelm and destroy Iran really easily. But the law of asymmetry states that that's usually not the case. It's usually the underdog that has the advantage. And we see this from history all the time. Okay, so when the Persians in about 490 BC invaded mainland Greece against Athens and Sparta, Persia at that time was the first world empire. It had infinite resources, infinite manpower, infinite wealth. And it lost to the Greeks not once, but twice. And then the Macedonians under Alexander the Greek, and they were like a tribal army, not a very large army. They were able to go into Persia, and Persia at the time was basically most of Eurasia, and conquered it in about 10 years' time. The Romans started off as a tribal people, which then built the Mediterranean Empire. Then you have the Aztecs, so the Vikings. So this happens a lot in human history. A people in the borderlands, a tribe, a small ethnicity, are able to conquer a great empire. And the law of asymmetry tells us why. Okay? So I'm going to go over very slowly in detail how this law of asymmetry works.
The sun that is giving life to all of us on this earth, this plane of existence, is not here to cause cancer. It's like saying when somebody says estrogen causes cancer. Really? Then every 15-year-old girl should have breast cancer. Estrogen does not cause cancer. That's another lie. Cancer is a metabolic disease. It's an error in cellular metabolism. You can increase cellular stress, oxidative stress, from the seed oils, the sugar, the alcohols, and everything else that somebody's doing.
People who bake in the sun, they just bake.
I bake in the sun.
Crisp.
I bake, I'm crisp. What are they usually putting on their skin?
So it's that stuff.
And what are they usually eating and drinking when they do it? So if I put on carcinogens, which all of the sunscreens have in there, and then I go in the sun and I'm baking it in with infrared heat, while internally I'm probably drinking Coors Light and Bud Light, you know what's happening, or Margaritaville time, right? How many people are drinking when they're out there? How many are having chips and salsa, potato chips, pretzels, corn dogs, everything else full of seed oils that are rancid and oxidizing them? So you're causing cancer. Cancer is a metabolic disease. I'm so exhausted of the misinformation.
Right.
And people being afraid the sun is going to heal you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and we're told it's the dangerous thing.
You know, that's why I said in the video, I think it was yesterday with RFK, saying we're going to put red, yellow, and green lights on the label so people know what's good and what's not. Yes, at the end of the day, we have a choice. You know, we have a choice. We don't need that label. We already know. Well, I would think we already know that Pop-Tarts, we already know that chips, we already know that frozen pizza aren't good for us. With the red, green, and yellow is not really going to make a difference. But what they need to do is get those poisonous foods out of the food. Why is it in there in the first place? Why is there even a choice that we can eat this and have the possibility of getting these vicious diseases that have been killed, that everyone watching this video has had somebody, either they lost somebody due to that sickness or they know somebody that's had that sickness, and probably some of you guys have actually had it yourself personally. Like, why are they allowing these food? Don't put a red, yellow, or green label on there. We already know this food is bad. It's the ingredients you're putting in the food that is making it addicting, so we can't say no to it. Get rid of the foods. Get rid of it. Then you're making a change. Putting a little red light, green light, red fish, blue fish on the label ain't gonna do nothing. It's gonna do nothing. Till they do something real, then you can come talk to me. Until you say we're getting rid of these food, we're getting rid of red dye 40, but we still got yellow, blue 6. We're putting naked chips here, but there's still a full aisle of chips, and there's a little aisle over here by the diapers. I should have showed. Next time I go to Walmart, I'm gonna make a TikTok. I'm gonna make a YouTube short of where our naked chips are at my little neighborhood Walmart. I'm gonna do that next time I go to Walmart. It'll probably be today. I go to Walmart all the damn time.
You have to remember, Joni was fragile.
I'm trying to bitch!
As powerful as she was dealt a bad hand, and the right people were not there for her in the right place at the right time.
That's China.
10 years, 15 years, I don't know how long, no. But I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm China. I'm a champion. Don't treat me that way.
Man, watching this is just such a hard watch. China revolutionized women's wrestling. I mean, she did things that people didn't think that was possible at that time. During the time that she was in the WWE, WWF actually, women's wrestling wasn't exactly taken serious. And the things that she did in the business, it was revolutionary. I mean, you're talking Intercontinental Champion, you're talking entering the Royal Rumble and actually eliminating Mark Henry. They mistreated her so fucking much in that business. And you'll have people that either love or hate China. It's hard to see these wrestlers spiral down because when they're in the WWE, WWF, they're built larger than life. You think that nothing can happen to these people, but these are actual people, just like any other human. And shit can go down south very quick. And especially when you're mistreated in a business like professional wrestling, you can tell that she was hurting.
So people would actually come to the house?
Uh-huh.
And do what?
Want to discuss things with me, politics and philosophy and organic farming and things, you know.
What did you know about organic farming?
Nothing. Not a thing.
Little sarcasm.
Can I just stop and ask you a question that I imagine everybody's thinking right now? We were led to believe that the United States has such anti-ballistic defense systems that there's no way the Iranians would be able to hit these bases. But I'm not an expert. From what I can tell, Iran is hitting these bases, aren't they?
Iran is hitting these bases. It's having a lot of bad effect because one...
But why is that? I thought our defenses were the U.S. defenses were so strong.
Because Israel's more important than the American clients in the Persian Gulf.
That's coming in hot.
First off, you guys, make sure you like this video, comments on this video, share this video, make sure you drop me a follow. But you know what, you guys, straight up, the United States is being censored on what is currently going on over in the Middle East and everything, because there are other nations, other countries that have indicated completely the opposite of what the United States and Donald Trump and the Trump administration are saying all over social media and saying all over the news here in America. Because over in European countries, over in Asian countries, and even all the way down in Australia, they are saying the exact opposite. They are indicating exactly what the Wall Street Journal ended up posting about just the other day when they ended up talking about those interceptor missiles being, the stockpile being dangerously low. And those countries have also indicated that it looks like the United States is literally about to run out within the next few days. So let me know your thoughts over in the comments. But not just that, you guys. Even when it comes down to United States military service members and the death count, there is reports circulating all over social media from those countries, the European countries, the Asian countries, down in Australia, everything saying that the death count for American troops is a lot higher than just 6. Let me know your thoughts over in the comments, because what I have heard all over social media is it is in the hundreds. Let me know what you guys have heard over in the comments.
See, this is why these things need to be said. This is why I put that poll up. Should Barron Trump, not just Barron Trump, y'all, that's just what's trending. You guys didn't catch that. That's just what's trending right now. That was trending, right? It's all of them. It's all these powers that be. It's all of them, right? And they don't have to go to war and hold a gun and all that, but maybe spend a month like when you're younger and you're acting bad. What happens? We're gonna send you over there with your uncle for a month to straighten you out a little bit, right? Now I'm just saying they need to tell us what's going on over there, but they're not, because they want these votes. Midterms are coming up. If he starts coming out and saying our bases are getting bombed, we're low on ammo, our CIA headquarters out and assets out there are getting bombed. There's more than 6. There's hundreds of people being killed, Americans. If they show these pilots on their knees begging for their lives, people would have a different outcome for this war. They would have a different outlook for this war. People would be more upset about this war instead of just letting it go in one ear and out the other. Like we're the big bad bully, can't nobody touch us, is how they're putting it off. It's not like that, y'all. That's why I say something needs to change, y'all. But, a lot of people are for this. It's crazy to me.
You guys.
Why am I just finding out now that the ocean that we think is the ocean, or the oceans, aren't really the oceans, and that there's another actual real ocean underneath our oceans? I just dove down the rabbit hole this weekend and got research on this, because they were saying the oceans that we think are the oceans aren't really the oceans, but the real oceans are under that ocean, under a thin crust of sand and rock. And they said the actual ocean under our ocean is 400 miles deep.
Damn.
What got me on this story was I watched a scuba diver go down, and there was like a hole in the rocks, and he put his camera in there, and he reached down through this hole, and there was like a void, like an air pocket, and he started to touch water, like splashing in it, like waves. And they said down there there's actually beaches, like real beaches, with waves coming in, crashing off the shores. They said it looks like the ocean, but it's uninhabitable because there's such a high amount of salt. The salt levels are so high that nothing can survive. But if you could make your way down there, there's literally beaches and oceans and like trees. This blows my mind, but if you get a chance, check it out.
The next Malaysian missing plane right
And
there.
his priests burned for 30 days all the Mayan books, so there was none left. And his reason was, it's either the word of God, and we've already got that, so we'll destroy it. And if it isn't, it's the work of the devil. So they destroyed the whole Mayan culture, literature, which was very good and very aware. And there was about 3 books left, which sort of say, got up and went to work. And there's not enough words for them to work out what the language was.
In July 1562, Diego de Landa, a Franciscan bishop of Yucatan, ordered the burning of Mayan codices during an auto de fe in the town of Mani after discovering there were sacrifices of boys and girls, and in some cases of young children, from other towns who were bought or stolen. His motivation was clear: to eradicate what he perceived as dangerous and blasphemous practices enshrined in these texts. In his relation to Las Cosas de Yucatan, 1566, Landa explained, "We found a large number of books written in these characters, and as they contain nothing but superstitions and falsehoods of the devil, we burned them all. To understand why, we must contextualize the world Landa was reacting against. The Maya, like many Mesoamerican cultures, practiced human sacrifice on a scale that horrified the Spaniards. These were not isolated incidents, but deeply embedded in religious customs." Landa's first-hand descriptions of these rituals are corroborated by several chroniclers. He states in chapter 28, "The priest has people sacrificed, and everyone contributes. Some give money to buy slaves, or some give their little children out of devotion, who are gifted until today." Bernal Diaz del Castillo, who accompanied Hernán Cortés, described similar practices. Indians made pilgrimages, for the neighboring tribes of other districts of Yucatan came thither in great numbers to sacrifice to some abominable idols. Scientific and archaeological findings have since proven these accounts were not invented. These findings definitively verify what Spanish chroniclers like Landa and Diaz del Castillo had long reported. Human sacrifice and violence were central to Maya religious practices. Despite his role in the destruction of codices, Landa's relation de Las Cosas to Yucatan became essential for understanding Maya language, history, and customs. His work, especially the Landa alphabet, provided clues for the decipherment of Maya glyphs, aiding scholars centuries later. Ukrainian linguist Yuri Norizov, whose breakthrough decipherment of Maya script changed the field, relied heavily on Diego de Landa's writings. Michael D. Coe, a leading expert in Mesoamerican studies, acknowledged Landa's complex legacy, stating, "A great deal of what we know about the Maya comes from Bishop Landa. We couldn't really write anything meaningful in a lot of aspects without citing Bishop Landa." In conclusion, Diego de Landa's actions, however controversial, must be understood in the context of the violent practices he sought to eliminate. As we criticize his destruction, we must also recognize his contributions. To condemn his burning of codices without acknowledging the practices he sought to abolish would be selective outrage. If we are expected to tolerate such violent customs, then we can equally tolerate Diego de Landa's custom to eradicate them.
There's only one difference between the rich and the poor. And that one thing that people don't understand is you can see it when you walk in somebody's house. You walk in the house and the house is filthy, and the house is dirty, you know they broke. You walk in the house is clean, the house put together, and tell you one thing they know about structure, how to put things together. You can put things together. That's the only thing you got to do to make money.
Yeah.
Right? So people that got cluttered and their house is dirty, their house is filthy, or they broke, they poor.
Yeah.
Automatically.
That mean they like clutter.
Yeah, the difference between rich and poor is how you clean.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it real. And people understand this. Like, so it's like, okay, cool. The people that was rich always been rich because they always had good hygiene. They always cleaned up. They tidied their area. They washed and they folded their clothes. Yeah. And everybody that's poor, they washed their clothes, threw them in the corner. That's what they did. Yeah. Right? They get home from school, they take their shoes off and throw them over there.
Yeah.
They have no order. So if you don't got no order, then you poor. Poor ain't got nothing to do with money. You got everything to do with order.
You're not even allowed. You know, that's true, y'all. From a young age, my mom didn't even have to tell me. Now, I had a sister that wasn't like this. My other sister was like this. Now, my mom didn't even have to tell me. I would just clean before I went to school. I made my bed every day. I did that. When I went to school, I cleaned my shoes every day with a toothbrush. Cleaned my shoes. When I got home, I didn't wear those shoes when I went outside. I had like outside shoes that I trashed and all that. Like, and I noticed that when I used to do DoorDash and all that, the people that kept their yard up were usually the people that got cleaner foods, right? Those people tend to tip better. The people that their car was messy, there's trash in their car, their yard's filthy, ate terribly, and didn't tip good, right? Now, it's not always, but that was the majority that I noticed doing that. And that made me think like, oh, this eating thing has a lot to do with this, the way your house looks. And you just walk outside. You can just walk outside and see your neighbor's house and see what the inside of their house looks like, judging by the outside of their house. A lot tells you the outside of somebody's house, their vehicles. That tells you a lot about a person.
About what you think you saw. And we met the helicopters. We saw these things and everyone's kind of laughing. I remember someone said to me, "Why are you laughing now?" And I go, "Well, there's a better chance we're going to live because I didn't know we were going to war on Transformers."
Was anyone aware that these existed?
No, I can't even describe them. They're just awesome.
What makes them different?
It's got to be the angles of the outside, the structure, and the paint.
Did you ever seen one?
No, no one had. The president didn't know about them. When we first presented a plan, 2 helicopters, 32 minutes, you might run out of fuel, so they were going to run over the Hindu Kush. Like, we got to get back to Afghanistan. Compromise is going to be because of the local police. I don't want to kill Pakistani police. They're just doing their job. We'll hardpoint it. And then you need to send someone to Islamabad and negotiate our release because we're not going to surrender or whatever. But that was our plan. I guess Barack Obama again looked at the chief of staff of the Air Force and said, "What do you need to rain hell in Pakistan? My guys are not surrendering to anybody." They launched F-16s. I know we had something up there that convinced them to turn around.
Stay with me. You want to stay on the phone? Yeah, stay. Come on in. Come sit down.
That gun that she has right there, man. I mean, that gun that guy has, I believe it's a transgender, man. It's a woman, man. That's converting into being a guy, dude. And that's why she had layers of clothes on. It was not for DNA. She shot her in the front. Somebody went around the back. It was probably more or less a medical transport van that came in here that pulled in. So the guy that they paid for the medical transport, he probably didn't even know what he was doing. He's probably parked at CVS waiting to take people to dialysis. They walk up and offer him $100,000. He's going to come over here with his work truck real fast, pull around the back while they already knocked the guy in the back, knocked out the cameras and all that stuff. So they couldn't see where the van pulled in the back. The guy went around the front, put the foliage up to try to block the cameras from her seeing, because she got scared, and when she heard him out back, she got scared and went to the front. And when she went out to the front, that's when he popped her with the tranquilizer gun. She's on blood thinners, and she bled all over the front right there, man.
That's an interesting theory.
That's a fact, man.
What's
I'm
your name?
positive. That's what took place.
What's
I'm
your name?
Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
From Tucson?
I mean, I was born in Tucson, man, but I've been all over the United States and stuff, man. You know what I mean? In my life.
All right, family. There you have today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Y'all appreciate it. Different, y'all. I learned a lot. My views in March dropped, y'all. Dropped. I did some research. I'm finding out that YouTube changed its algorithm. I learned a lot. We did it different today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, if you guys did, make sure you guys click over here. We're going to have a video playlist pop up. Click over here. We're going to have a video that YouTube's recommending to you that thinks will suit you, y'all. So go ahead and check those videos out, y'all. I'm going to get out of here, get this video edited out to the people. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.